honestly one of the most fun Sonic teams of all of Sonic history. I love them to death. I think they're the most chill, fun part of any Sonic game. And what makes it even better about this team is, unlike a team like Team Amy, Team Dark, Team Sonic even, is the fact that they've been established since the very beginning. So with that, let's start with their origins being Knuckles Nope, sorry, that's not canon. That is not canon. That never happened. Basically, we're starting off with Sonic Heroes. Before I jump into this, I want to tell you why I love them so much. I feel like the Team Chaotix is basically the most chill team in terms of being the most filler out of filler. I feel like if you need a Sonic game that has Sonic friends in them, and you don't want to have anything, you know, like too crazy in terms of like Silver or like any like glump shitto, like it, I feel like they're the perfect team to put in. You know, they're colorful, fun characters. They can fill out any roster. You know, you don't need to go out of your way to get Marine the Raccoon or Mighty the Armadillo. You just get Team Chaotix. They're fun, they're chill, and I love the fact that they're a detective agency because, one, I think it's funny that in the Sonic series people have full-on detectives. Like, I don't know, I think stuff like that really builds out and fleshes out the world, and it just shows the fact that there's such like a wider array of stuff going on in the Sonic, you know, franchise than just the main man himself. But with that, let's go into the characters. First one we have is the main man, the leader himself, Vector the Crocodile. First thing before I get into Vector is I love the fact that he was actually a precursor to, you know, the beginnings of Sonic himself, because he was originally a character in Sonic whenever during his creation. I'm gonna put up, you know, the picture of him here, but yeah, that was early concept of what would soon be Vector, and was taken, you know, from that to, you know, Sonic nowadays. About Vector, I love the fact that he's, you know, the muscle of the group and also the leader itself. I like the fact that he's the most striking, you know, character of all time. The gold chain, the headphones, it is just, oh my god, it's just, I can't, it's just too much, honestly. And I love the fact that even though he looks like someone that's like clueless and doesn't know what he's doing, he's actually very smart and aware of what's going on. And along with that, I appreciate the fact that he's like the glue of the group, because whenever I get to the other two characters, you can tell that they are polar opposites, and he's honestly a good mix of both. And getting to the next one, we have Espio the Chameleon. I love the fact that he's like the ninja of the group. Because of himself being a chameleon, he could obviously change and, you know, camouflage himself. And I love the fact that with him being a ninja, it kind of shows more of like, you know, like the no nonsense of the group. I love the fact that he's always like on task and like doesn't, you know, like get distracted. And along with that, I love the fact that he can also work and bounce off of other Sonic characters, especially ones like Shadow, as I'll get to later. And then we have the last one. He's not bad, but not my biggest fans. We have Charmy the Bee. He's the kid of the group. He's very impulsive, ready to fight, and by God, is he sometimes too annoying. But sometimes I do get a chuckle out of him. He overall is just like the kid, as I stated. The one thing I love about him being the kid is, one, I think it's good to have someone that balances out the two, because I honestly think that they would be pretty like without Charmy. He brings some good levity to the group, but I love the fact that he looks up to both of them to where he like imitates them at times. It's funny.
Aren't you done yet? At this rate, the entire day will be wasted!
Yeah! Whole day wasted!
But with that, let's get to Sonic Heroes, their big debut, and honestly, their biggest game by far. With Sonic Heroes, they are basically the wild card of Sonic Heroes, because I really love the setup with their dynamic, because in the game, they're in it for the money. They are in it for the money. With all the other Sonic teams, they got their own stuff, they got their own BS that they're going with. Sonic and crew is just like, let's stop Eggman. Team Amy is like, I don't know, man, we gotta find Froggy. Team Dark, oh my god, Team Dark.
The ultimate life form, chaos control,
Space desperation,
supersonic.
Team Dark is just going through some stuff right now, but with Team Chaotix, they're just like, brother, we need to pay rent.
wrong with you?
It's here! We've got work!
What?
I've heard good things about you and require your detective services. And I can pay handsomely.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Espio, don't be silly. Besides, you know our policy. We never turn down work that pays.
Yeah, you know our policy!
Come on, boys. Let's go.
Yes, sir!
Roger.
You got Vector chilling out, you know, just vibing with his tunes. Espio's just being chill, doing nothing, just relaxing. And my boy Charmy comes and bursts in through the door going like, hey man, we got a job, we're gonna get some bread. And both of Vector's eyes, Vector and Charmy's eyes turn into money, you know, money signs. I just love cartoon shit like that. And then, you know, like Espio's being reasonable, going like, hey man, come on man, this doesn't seem a little bit shady. But, you know, Vector's like, brother, we got a job to do, bro. We got to pay some rent. He's like, let's get out there. Like, that alone just made me a fan of them. And as we go throughout the game, they have some very good dynamics with each other. And honestly, I think they're, like, the most fun in terms of, like, their, like, banter between each other. I really do love Team Dark, but something about the Chaotix, oh my god, it's too fun.
Not too late to change your mind.
Why do you think we're here? How else are we gonna make the rent?
And also, as I said, with Knuckles Chaotix not being canon, so you don't have to type in the comments like, actually it is canon because well, shut up. Here you go.
So, you're the ones who are playing games with my army?
Sorry, just part of the job.
That's the evil genius, Dr. Eggman.
Doctor Who?
Yes, let me show you who I really am.
And one thing throughout the game is that I like how they actually realize that Eggman is the one that hired them. It's kind of obvious, but I love the fact that it shows like they're actually like detectives. They actually know what they're doing in terms of like, you know, like their job and all that stuff. And one thing, I actually love the interaction they have with the other teams because, of course, you know, the main, you know, argument people have with Sonic Heroes is that they have forced fights with each other in terms of, like, you know, because it's the video game and, you know, you have to fight. But honestly, I think it's pretty charming. Charmy the Bee. But my favorite one has to be with, you know, Amy's team running into Team Chaotix, because I love how Charmy is just like, brother, let's rumble, let's fight. And I'm like, you know what, Charmy, I'm here for it, man. Let's do it.
I was wondering if I could ask you something.
If it's about a date, it'll have to wait.
Jade? You think this is a joke, you little brat?
Now hand over that chow nice and easy.
I bet you're the ones who took chocolate chow.
What?
It's not nice to tease my friends.
Yeah, time to rock and roll!
Talk about a huge misunderstanding.
Yeah, sure made fools out of ourselves.
Nothing new for you, Vector!
Look, like, my only complaint with them in Sonic Heroes is, like, the actual gameplay itself, because famously, they have some of the most hardest missions of all time. It's not like Team Dark in terms of being hard. It's like, we gotta find 10 Chow, or we gotta, you know, do this, like, 15, 30 things, and I'm like, ugh. But whatever, it's fine. At the end of the game, they all meet up, and I love how they, like, officially just become a part of the Sonic cast and crew. All the other teams are like, hey man, we're gonna stop Metal Sonic, and they're like, you know what, we have, like, no stake in this race, but we're in. Because at the end, whenever they find out that Eggman was kidnapped, and they actually, like, you know, like, realize it because of their detective skills, I love the fact that Eggman doesn't have any money at all. He didn't even, like, intend on paying them, and they just beat the shit out of him. like I don't, simply put, they just beat him up, and I think that's funny. But like I said, at the end of the game, you know, they save the day. They stop Metal Sonic, you know, going Super Saiyan, and I love how they're still after Eggman for the money. Like, they are hell-bent on paying rent. I love those guys. But with that, we get to the next game, which honestly I think might match or even be better than their first appearance in this game, being Shadow the Hedgehog.
Guess that's it for this case.
Guess so.
But what about our money?
Man, I almost forgot. That's Light Ball!
With Shadow the Hedgehog, we have a full-on alien invasion from my boy Black Doom. And the Chaotix, brother, they're in the thick of it. They are like officially part of the core cast, and by God, I love their scene so much. They're separated for most of the game because, you know, with Shadow, you only have like one character per mission. But honestly, it shows how much they all work on their own. Like, for only being official characters for 2 years, they still have their personality, and they are amazing even when apart. Because, oh my god, this alone, I think it's so funny whenever Charmy and Shadow are teaming up, and, you know, like, Vector, you know, tasked them with getting, you know, like, floppy disk and all that stuff, and Charmy just goes like, I don't know what that is.
Hey, Shadow. I gotta ask you something. Vector told me that he wants me to find 5 top secret discs. Oh, like, what's a top secret disc?
I love the fact that Vector sent out Charmy to Prison Island to go get top secret disc, and he doesn't even know what that is. If that's not peak comedy, I don't know what is. I really don't. And then we have with Espio. I really love his dynamic with Shadow. I love the fact that while, you know, Shadow is like divided between like good and evil in that game, even though most of it is not canon, like none of that even happened. I like their dynamic between each other because it really shows how, you know, Espio is like super focused, and he's even able to, you know, help Shadow, you know, while all this stuff is going on. And it really shows how good he is working with other people. And the last one is on the arc with Vector. It shows him helping out Shadow, and I love the fact that he is even able, you know, help confront Shadow with all like the guilt and drama going on. Like, even though they like barely know each other, he's still there to help him and all that stuff. And then at the end, whenever they're all together, we just have this clip alone, which I'm just gonna show you because this is just peak right here, man.
Espio, are you in yet?
Quiet, Charmy! Espio, we need you to focus, because if we don't hurry, all the data we recovered will be lost!
Easier said than done. Who signed me up for this anyway?
That's it. I'll do it. Get out of the way.
Get back here, you idiot! Hey, it's working!
Shadow, my son!
Professor?
What is this?
But yeah, no, this game also alone just shows how good the Chaotix are. They are able to get top secret information from the military on Joe Robotnik. If that isn't, you know, like pure like detective work, I don't know what is. That's kind of like the end of them in terms of main appearances. I mean, they do still appear, as I will mention later throughout the video, but that's kind of like their main stuff in terms of like pivotal and like major roles. The next game that they appear in, they didn't appear in Sonic 06. I would not like to see them in Sonic 06, but their next appearance was in Sonic Rivals 2. To where Espio and Silver teamed up, and it shows his dynamic with him, and it really is good to see, you know, like the Chaotix, you know, help, because they were tasked with finding Chao. I didn't play this game, I just know that happens. So the Chaotix, they did stuff, and they helped out Silver the Hedgehog, and they saved Chao. That's good. Next one, Sonic Generations. They don't do anything. They're kind of just there. Everyone's invited to, you know, to Sonic's birthday bash. They get kidnapped by the Time Eater / Eggman. I mean, they have some pretty good clips. You know, they have some good, you know, like one-liners and shit. But overall, they just go like, "You got this, Sonic. You can defeat the bad guy. We're not gonna do anything because this is the era where, you know, people hate, you know, side characters for some reason. But we believe in you. You got this." So there's that. I'm kind of harping on it too much, but you know, like I think in terms of like characters that weren't like assassinated during this era, they honestly were pretty chill.
I
All right, just simmer down, buddy.
The Death Egg? Oh man, that's not good.
None of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war.
They're also their next mainline appearance. This is actually a major game because let's see this here. They're not in Unleashed. They're not in Colors. They're not. They're not in Sonic Lost World. God, I'm so happy for that. But they are in Sonic Forces, and this is where I said how they just kind of fill out the ranks here. They're a part of the Resistance, and I would say I appreciate that, they're out of their comfort zone in terms of, like, being detectives and now just having to be war veterans. That's why it's called War. Fucking Sonic Forces, man. Fucking. I can't take that game seriously, man. But yeah, no, I mean, like, they're still in character, they still got their one-liners and quips, and this is what I mean by how I feel like they're the most, like, versatile out of, like, the Sonic cast. Because unlike characters like Knuckles, who, have to stay on, like, Angel Island, which he's not, he is not there half the time, and other characters like Blaze or like Shadow, like, you could really put them anywhere and it kind of works no matter what. Like, they're there just to get money, get paid, say some quips, have some fun, and honestly, I vibe with characters like that. They're pretty chill. They're also in Team Sonic Racing. They were hired by Tails to, find out about this, like, cat person in the video game. I didn't finish it, but, like, they do stuff there. I'm gonna finish it soon, but, I don't know. Overall, I really do love the Chaotix. Their next mainline appearance is in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. And honestly, I can't wait to see them with all the, characters and cameos, because now at this point, they just feel like familiar mainstays that are beloved by fans. I think they're such a great team, and I love them so much. That's really about it. It was great to cover characters like these, because as I later get to characters like Shadow or Silver, it's gonna get deep. Like, there's so much to talk about with those people. But that's really about it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and yeah, see ya.